You're having Thirsty Thursday with your pals the other day.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we're once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast paying tribute to the great Canadian show, Letterkenny. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other podcasts about Letterkenny out there, but this one has something we like to call gumption. That one's for you, Matt.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm Mal, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is the lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt, the vivacious Victor, and joining us for his regular season recap appearance is the host of PodScure and How Are You Now, and the producer of the Boondocks podcast. Please join me in making some noise for Dean Giles.
Wondrous!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait!
Yes! Yaddy! I regret nothing!
How are you now, Dean?
I'm doing all right. You got the frozen Marg mix?
No, I don't. I've got the Stella Artois. That's what they would call it. Stella Artois is what I'm drinking tonight. Artois. Victor has, you can't see this. It's unfortunate that this isn't a visual medium because Victor's backgrounds are always something to note. And today he's got a background with a unicorn and a rainbow and stars, and yeah, it's very soft. It's a super soft background.
Is it your birthday, Victor, and you just didn't tell us?
No, you know what? I was sharing. I thought we're doing season 5, episode 1 today.
So that's hilarious. So we already know what Victor's rating is for first.
He's gonna watch it a second time, and then he's gonna have the train wreck behind it instead.
Right.
He's gonna jump over to the other side.
All right.
He's prepped. He's good to go for next week.
Yeah. Today's lineup, it's going to be Al, Victor, Matt, Tanya, and our guest Dean will have the last word. So here we go.
How are you now?
My week. Let's see. It's been a busy week at work. Crazy busy at work. I won't bore you with the details. We were just laughing because making fun of Dean because he's becoming quite the TikTok phenomenon with How Are You Now is on TikTok now. And I was enjoying his TikToks. And I feel like we're moving backwards because today I started up the Produce Stand Instagram account, and I feel like we're, instead of doing what the kids are doing, we're actually moving backwards. But anyway,
next week you'll be on MySpace.
Yeah. or Friendster.
There you go.
Anyway, I don't know. A lot of people still on Instagram, and I see a lot of podcasts, advertising on Instagram, and I'm like, maybe we're missing out on some people there. So, I opened that up today. So, Produce Stand Pod on Instagram. If anyone's on IG and wants to follow us, that'd be great. Victor, how was your week?
Week is good. Week's been busy, as you know. I'm looking at some career opportunities, and so I think things are shaken and whatnot. So it's kind of busy around that, and then
it's exciting.
Lots of exciting stuff, and just around fun stuff. I was just listening to a song by Toto. Because
sorry for that.
Well, wait a second. One of the greatest guitar players plays for Toto, and nobody even knows this.
Steve Lukather.
That's right. But anyway, so the reason I was listening to them is because I was looking at the top 10 list on Spotify the other day, and a Justin Bieber song called "Anyone" is there, and I'm listening to it. I'm thinking, this sounds god awfully familiar, and so I went and did a little bit of a search, and I found a Toto song called "Going Home," and oh my god, it's exactly the same freaking song.
Did they?
Real quick, there's a Rick Beato who I love. He's
great.
Does amazing videos. He actually talked about that very recently. It was like yesterday. He put a video out about it.
Huh.
Wow. Then
you guys are on the same wavelength.
But
now, is it a cover?
Yeah, or
is
maybe did Bieber?
No. There's no, the songs are like lyrically, there are two different songs and the verses are quite different, but the chorus, which is the hook, it's not similar. It's the same. Like it's it uses the very basic chord progression, but you'll probably find in hundreds of songs, but you've got the rhythm and the melody that are exactly the same.
I could check that out. Yeah.
Go listen to them side by side. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's fine if Bieber is giving.
Beato put them right together because when bands back in the day they didn't play to a click track like bands today do. So he exactly. So he had to line up, but when he lined them up, they were dead on. I mean,
well, there you go. So there you go. Now you got two people saying the same.
Well, yeah. If Rick Beato says it, then I trust him.
I love those. I love that guy's videos.
Yeah, he's great.
I mean, even for a guy older than me who's going out and watching these videos of the top 10 and saying, that's actually kind of cool because of the melody and and just kind of ferreting it all out. Where most of us guys who are that's just crap. I mean, he actually listens to it.
Rick is a cool guy. He doesn't trash on music just because it's a genre he doesn't like. He'll appreciate it.
Well, since you brought that up today on Twitter, I noticed that our follower from Hootie and the Blowfish, I forget his name,
Darius
Rucker, was fanboying out on Post Malone because he's covering a Hootie and a Blowfish song.
Yeah, but that's a cover. That's totally cool, though.
Well, is it cool that that Post Malone is covering Hootie and the Blowfish? I don't know. I mean, it's great, cool for him, and I enjoyed how geeked out he got the idea that somebody.
I think that's all right.
But
that's all right. I'm sure David Bowie got all geeked out when Vanilla Ice covered.
No. I'm gonna guess not, but
hard no.
Yeah. Matt, how's your week?
Oh man, it's been a train wreck.
It's been a train wreck.
So I feel like we're fucking cursed this week. So I broke my toe.
Oh, no. That's right. I saw your
earlier this week.
Which one?
There's no good. There's just the little guy, little fucker. But there's no good story. I trip over stuff all the time, and this one I tripped a little extra hard. And,
which is it, like the toe or like just one of the finger toes?
What?
Well, I don't know.
Oh,
Here we go again. Here we go again. No. And now you've got Dean very confused when you say that.
We're still just as confused.
Don't go down it. Don't go down
How many knuckles are we talking?
Yeah, exactly.
2 knuckles, 3 knuckles.
Oh,
yeah, no finger toes.
3 knuckler.
It was a little pinky guy, and it was sideways, and it was not good, and. So that was a bad start. Then, just wrecked it, man.
As long as bone isn't sticking out, you'll survive.
Yeah, you just buddy tape it to the guy beside it and just hope for the best. That's all you can do.
That's all they can do. Yeah,
right. So that was a good start, and then my wife got a nice ticket the other day for distracted driving. A little hard lesson learned.
Oh, but, no! With the phone, those aren't cheap. Those are not cheap.
It's painful, and it was and she
too, aren't they?
We're figuring out right now. It's a mess, and it's harsh. It's like the full extent of the law on this shit here in Canada. I don't know what do they issue these in the States too?
Some states do.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's on the books here. I mean, I don't know personally anybody who's ever been pulled over for it, but I'm sure it's happened.
It sucks, and it was a blip of a moment, and she said she was looking out the beside her where they were just driving and looking at her, and she's like, oh shit, like it was just a terrible timing. So we're dealing with that mess, and then this morning, I don't know if you've ever seen. I shared this morning as well because it totally captured my morning. I was driving my kids to school, and I have one of those. I have a newer Mazda, and it's got that fob key that starts your damn car, and I started my car. And then came back just to warm it up because it's like minus 15 this morning. And then stopped at the gas station, luckily just down the street. And then when I went to start my car again, realized I didn't have my keys. So those fob keys, you could start the car with the key, but as soon as you take it out of the key, it stays running. And then I took off and left with it. So there I am, for 10 minutes from the house with the kids in the back, 15 below zero, and I can't start my damn car. It's 8 a.m. I'm calling my wife saying, hey, you to get in the car, bring the baby with you, by the way, that you're feeding. Oh yeah, let the dog out and then come get me and bring me my damn keys. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, nope.
That reminds me of a story that I'm sure my wife will tell you guys in a second about.
Oh no, you can share your fun stories.
Oh no, it has to do with me missing my train stop, and she had to pack the kids up into the van and come pick me up the next town up. And it was
Yeah, so it was a rough morning. I shared a video. Have you ever seen this guy TikTok Vic? He does these videos online sometimes. It's fucking hilarious. He does his rant about his wife's car keys, and it's these fob, and you got to bring back real keys. He is just belligerent and over the top, and it captured everything I felt this morning. So check it out on my Twitter.
Tanya, how's your week?
That's a rough week. Work has just been a terrible week this week, so we won't get into that. Finally, I'm kind of excited about this, but I've taken up a new hobby on my spare time. The kids are home full time with us. They didn't go back to school.
So they're schooling from home.
Homeschooling. So I decided to pick myself up a new activity, paint by numbers, which I know is cheating. I know, don't tell me, I know it, but it's cheating because I have absolutely no artistic skill and the picture in my brain cannot get on the paper. So this is like my way that I can actually get past that and then have some fun and do some painting. So
the grown up coloring books.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
I was just about to say
it's only cheating if you say you're creating art.
Oh, I know. I'm not creating art.
Yeah, even by numbers, I'd still fuck it up.
I kind of tell myself if I go just outside the lines, then really it is my own. Yeah. And now it is, and now it is me doing the painting.
That's like Vanilla Ace saying, "Yeah, well, we didn't play it at the same speed as you guys did, so it's
we added another doom."
Yeah, that's right. Actually, you said that, didn't it?
It called for number 8, and I dared myself and used number 7. Yeah, no. So I'm still going to stick my name on it when it's done, and hopefully it will work out. So that's my spare time thing.
It looks great so far.
Yeah.
Dean, how was your week and the last month, I guess, since we last heard from you?
Well, it's been really busy. Just this last week, I've recorded 3 episodes. I've put out 2. I'm editing 1. I just had an interview with Trevor Risk, who's a writer for the show.
Yeah.
He was on our the upcoming episode.
Very cool.
He's out in Albania. Well, he's still in Albania.
What's he doing there? Is he on vacation or working or what's he?
He went over. Yeah, he went over there, but he can't come back.
Oh, the problem. Oh, okay. So he's stranded.
Yeah, but in essence, yeah. I mean, he can travel around all over there, and I can't remember where he said he was going next. But anyway, next weekend he's going from Albania to some other place over there. But yeah, that was a fun. Anytime you get a chance to chat with Trevor Risk, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
we laughed a lot. But he's a funny guy, and he's a great boost for the show.
Yeah,
I mean for Letterkenny. I mean his wit it's just excellent.
So we got into a bit of a Twitter thing, not an argument, but just a back and forth. You were involved with that too.
Oh yeah,
he was trying to, well, not trying to be. He was succeeding at being controversial by saying
trolling. He was trolling.
Yeah, he was trolling. He was saying stuff like Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett. Well, first it was Mama's Family.
Mama's Family wasn't funny.
And then I asked about, well, what about when it was on Carol Burnett? And then he said, sigh. That's not funny either.
Right. And then I responded with the animated GIF from the dude, Big Lebowski saying, yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. And he came back with a bigger sigh saying, yeah, that movie's not funny either. So
that one hurt. That one cut me deep.
Big Lebowski, I mean, for me was okay. I mean, I know a lot of people are really big on it. For me, it was all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate it.
My confession there is I'm with you. It's just okay. It's not. I'm not a fanboy of the movie.
Legacy is way bigger.
Yeah,
than the actual.
Absolutely agree with that. but it was just the perfect gift for me to use. So I think he took it as I was endorsing it fully, and I wasn't. But anyway,
I think a little less of all of you, just so you know.
So that wasn't his first time on your podcast, so right?
No, we interviewed him. I want to say at the end of season 6, I think, something like that. We had him on. It was funny. I was looking at our season 4 recap, and that's when we interviewed Patrick. Was our season 4 recap was with Patrick. So, but yeah, we had him on for an interview before, and then just because I knew he had written an episode, and so I reached out to him. I'm like, would you like to be on one of the episodes just as a guest? And he's like, sure. So, but we were supposed to record next weekend, but it turns out his next weekend he was traveling. So so I ended up having to record episode 5 and 6 this last weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's great. Full disclosure, I've chatted with him too, and almost got him to come on ours. But I feel like, he politely declined at the time because I think we were still at the stage where we're trying to convince Tanya that this was a good show. and I remember him saying, so let me get this straight. Tanya doesn't like the show. Victor's kind of lukewarm on it. And you and Matt are fans of it. And I'm like, yes. He's like, interesting. I'm like, yeah, well, we think so. And then he's like, let me think about it for a bit. And then he came back and politely declined. So I feel like if we, maybe if I approached him now, especially since he's stranded in Albania with maybe little to do, he might.
Oh, he's got plenty to do. There's lots of alcohol, and he's got his girlfriend with him.
Oh, so. Never mind then. Okay, forget it. So. You lucked out. That's all right. You can have this one, Dean. All right. Let's do our roll call here. Twitter roll call. We have 24 new followers this week. Welcome to new followers. Richard Naz. Howie Feeling from Chicago. Mother River Zen from Lake Wildwood, California. Thoughts of Mr. Knox. Blaine. Sophia Jones. Nick B13. Chris Manley. Zach Sinoka, Joe Deria or something like that. Stuart Narduzzo from Ontario, Jimmy the Stiffy from Belpre, Ohio. Not Hannibal Lecter. Rob Lee, Susan Gibbs.
That's what all the Hannibal Lecters say.
Yeah, I'm not him. I'm not that one. Actually, not Hannibal Lecter, I believe, is our latest patron, and she's coming on next 2 weeks from now. So there you go. Susan Gibbs from San Francisco. I hope I had the right person there because I think it's not Hannibal Lecter anyway. Martin Badkey from the Pale Blue Dot. Mark Stankiewicz, No One Sphere from Washington, D.C. Jeremy Nunn, Quentin McCain from Gilroy, California. Grace Zilla X and Glassgrow is Nunya Bidness and MJ Bonelli from the Jersey Shore. Thank you all for your follow and hopefully for listening.
No One Sphere is a band that we've had on our intro and outros. I think they may have been on the episode that we had you on. So,
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. So now they're following us. So awesome. Maybe we'll have them on our show, because we got to copy everything you do.
They're good people.
Get to the chorus.
Last week, we reviewed the Letterkenny Easter special, Super Hard Easter. That episode got a fresh rating from Matt and Tanya and a clearance from Victor and myself. An unusual split for this podcast. Twitter agreed with Matt and Tanya, of course. 76.5% of respondents giving it a fresh and 23.5% giving it a clearance. This week, we recap and review season 4 with our friend Dean. So here we go.
I think you skipped over that a little too fast.
Why?
I just want to call that out that I was right and you were wrong. Just wanted to say that. Yeah,
okay,
there you go.
Go ahead.
I heard it, Tanya. Don't worry.
Enjoy it. So let's.
I never get to do that, so I get to do that now.
So Dean, last time you were on, you were you were raving about seasons 3, 4, and 5, I believe, saying that they were some of the strongest or your favorites, and both Matt and I think to a certain degree Tanya agreed that season 3 was very strong and Victor was kind of lukewarm, but I think season 4 they really hit their stride here. We'll start with the episode 1, Never Work a Day in Your Life. So because it was a season premiere and we started writing limericks, we wrote an extra long one for this one. So hang in there. I started a podcast for Letterkenny, despite there already being many. Things started a bit slow, but as more episodes show, here's hoping for at least another 20.
I try to be the calm host. To me, the skids bomb most. Sure as my trains have cabooses, Matt threatens to cut me looses. Every time I dare give a compost.
Not sure why Owl decided to pick me, although shit got real in season 3. I'm still not sure I get it, but now my appetite is whetted because I'm constantly distracted by the D.
Now we kick off season 4's. Wayne and Rosie are no mores, but Stormy is depressed and Cito is a mess. Thanks to the puppers, relations are restored.
So there we go. We start off the episode "Never Work a Day in Your Life" where we left off. Rosie breaks up with Wayne because Wayne beat up on her cousin
Bradley.
An episode Victor hated and inexplicably, because I thought it was a great episode. But Never Work a Day in Your Life. So we were. Here's a clip from our recap of that. We were hoping to start the season off with a unicorn, and things looked promising, but then Tanya spoke.
Relationships. It's a lot of work. Do what you love.
And you'll never work a day in your life.
And we fade to black, and that's the episode. All right, guys. let's see how this goes. Oh, really? Wow. And we got applause from both Matt and Victor. Melbourne Jack might have a
Don't say it.
I won't. You're right. Okay, Tanya, we're gonna start with you. How what did you think of the episode? Just initial thoughts. Oh no.
See.
No. Restart that sentence.
So yes, that would have been our first unicorn since I think season 2 or season 1. But Tanya had to ruin it because we had a very rare agreement between Matt and Victor, but Tanya didn't quite like the episode. What did you think of that episode, Dean?
Oh, you got Dax and Ron right off the bat. I mean, I love Dax and Ron. They're probably a couple of my favorite characters. I think they were the highlight. You bring those two guys on, they just take up the screen and they're awesome. The tweak, the little, thing going on between Rosie and Wayne. I like the turf war starting at the dollar store. That whole thing. I love it. And rips, reps, revelations, baby. So
Revelations.
Revelations.
That was great. And so you would give this one a fresh then?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Everything that went on. It was like, there was a whole, that was a meaty episode, I think, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I think it was a nice carryover from the previous season. And in the end, Rosie and Wayne mended fences. So it was kind of a non-issue, but other than that,
it's not Biggie and Pac.
Exactly. Yeah, that was good. Anybody have any comments on that first episode?
Yeah, I mean, I was just still disappointed in Tanya on that one, and it was solid because there was a lot of good lines that came out of that, some good messaging, it was such a great way, and it set the tone for what we were about to experience, and it was a good one.
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded because the way season 3 ended, I think I recall Tanya also not being tremendously happy about that episode. I could be wrong now, but like the contrast between that 6th episode and this first one is just so grand in terms of the writing. Whereas it's almost like the writers took a bit of a day off of that episode and said let's let the drunken loonies kind of take over and go with those cheap jokes. But with this one, it was just they were on fire. Like it came so strong and kind of said, wow, they're starting so strong. This is going to be a unicorn. There was no doubt on my mind that we all four of us would be in agreement that this was a class A episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for Dean's benefit, a unicorn is basically just the rare time where all four of us gave it a fresh.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very
I'm
often.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All right. So let's move on. Or did you have any?
I'll watch it again.
Okay.
Get it right, damn it.
Come back with the correct answer.
Episode 2, A Fuss at the Golf Course. Here's the limerick for that one.
The Letterkenny golf club's covered in deuces. They've got a problem with Canada gooses. This gets the Hicks irate. They let that marinate, then rush to the golf club to stop the abuses.
So there we have the infamous Canada Gooses episode. The lots of breakaway glass was destroyed in that episode, and it was what did you think? Go ahead.
You know, I mean, you got Canada Gooses dropping Canada Deuces. You know, all that. You know, got to let that one marinate. You got lots of good lines in this one. Or must be fucking nice, and you know, and Mrs. McMurray just giving Coach all kinds of grief, and I love the sign.
Yeah,
that his caddy's carrying says embarrassing.
and Coach in this one was really good too.
Yeah.
When we were talking about this episode, we brought up the Mighty Ducks movie coming up with that's going to feature Dylan Playfair, and we had a funny exchange. Well, Victor and Matt had a fun exchange with this one. So yeah, he's in the new Mighty Ducks movie. And have you? Has it been released yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
When is it?
I would have seen it if it had been released.
I'm really excited for him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried about the movie.
The movie's going to be terrible. It doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be good. It's a Mighty Ducks movie. The first one was mildly amusing. The second two were.
Whoa! Wow! You just said a whole lot of hatred.
I loved it to death, but it's a terrible movie.
Wouldn't you lead with that?
I loved it.
I have movies I love that I know are terrible,
my God.
but at least I say I love them.
Face just was
Look,
like
My favorite movie for the longest time was Cannonball Run, but I would never recommend it to anybody to watch.
Well, it did have Jackie Chan in it.
Yes, it did. Yeah, young Jackie Chan. What's your favorite movie that you'd be embarrassed to admit to there, Dean?
Oh my God.
Which one, right?
Yeah.
I love a lot of movies. I don't know if I'm embarrassed of any of them though. I mean, I don't feel guilt over any of my pleasures. So.
It's got to be Showgirls.
Showgirls.
Yeah, you know, I watched that once just for the novelty of it. That was not so much. I probably, you know, it's kind of funny. Probably Starship Troopers is one of those.
I love Starship Troopers. The big bug.
Yeah,
I can watch that on repeat, and in fact, I did for the longest time.
It's. I mean, when I first saw it, I really didn't like it. I was like,
I love that movie.
Crappy shit. I mean, it's camp. It looked low budget, but the more I watched it, the more I like. They're just kind of making fun of themselves on some of this stuff, and with Neil Patrick Harris in there as the as the guy.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It was
brilliant.
Yeah, you're my kindred spirit on that one, man. That was actually what I was going to say if Al asked the rest of us. I was going to say, I know I shouldn't love this movie, but I love it.
I don't think I've met anybody that's ever said anything bad about that movie.
But
I think
Starship Troopers.
But there is so much bad to say.
It's perfect.
But I love it.
It's perfect. I put Galaxy Quest in a similar category.
I love Galaxy Quest.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
I mean, because I think I and a lot of other people consider that Star Trek canon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
brilliant.
So back to Fuss at the Golf Course. We all gave it a fresh. Obviously, it was a unicorn, and Twitter agreed with us. 90.5% gave it a fresh, and only 9.5% gave it a clearance.
Who's the 9? Like, like that one was so perfect.
Yeah.
And what I loved about that one too is how it played. Like Dean, our whole season here, it kind of just all synced together by accident. So like right after this, when we had Trevor on, and he brought up the story about their budget for glass bottles, and we're like, oh, we just watched Canada Gooses. He's like, oh yeah, that's why we were smashing bottles, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it all just kind of worked together across the season. Everything just.
I may be playing that clip a little later there.
All
Matt. Way to give that away. Anyway,
Well, you don't give us any production notes, so what can I tell you?
I think one of the things I liked about that was the Riley and Jonesy factor of being split up, where Riley's with Katie and he wants to be back with Jonesy. Where he's got his hand out on the
it's such a sad story.
It is.
So I mean, I can guess what your rating is for this, but what rating would you give this one?
Golf course?
Yes.
That's In fact, when I was looking, because that was our top rated show of that season.
Oh, really?
Because I had everybody vote on what their favorite show of the season. Yeah, that was the top rated, and I don't disagree with that at all.
Interesting.
So yeah, that was a great episode.
All right, episode 3, Way to a Man's Heart. Here's a limerick for that one.
Tanis lost her beloved axe and slash to those Shyla and Shania pieces of trash. So the Hicks agreed to drive out to the native Rez's cookout where they and the D-Gens did clash.
So the cookout episode, and during our review there's a running joke on ours when we do the Twitter roll call. There's a certain U.S. state that I have a little bit of a hard time pronouncing.
Which one is it, Al?
Well, we're going to find out here. Hold on. Just then a couple of pickups arrived, piled high with D-Gens. Guys like Sled Ted, Rat Ass, Jivin' fucking Pete. They've assembled the D-Gen All-Stars, led by the number 1 D-Gen, who we find out has a name. Alistair Orson Westwood Alistair Orson Westwood Yates.
Take two.
Played
Our
by
newest follower.
I know, right?
He must be from Massachusetts.
Must be. Awesome. So yes, Massachusetts. I've been working on that one over and over again, and since then we haven't had very many new followers from Massachusetts.
So if you know anyone from Massachusetts, tell them to follow us, Dean. We love hearing Al fail at that one.
Anyway, the famous cookout episode. What did you think of that one, Dean?
Well, because I love the play, the words that annoy people. I mean, the moist, snatch, squirt, veg, which I thought was hilarious for Wayne. And then the big fucking scrap where Derry comes and rescues Wayne. There at the end with breaking the bottle over Alistair Orson Westwood Yates' head.
Yeah, show off.
Nailed it.
Damn you.
So that one, that was a good one. And and anything with Tanis in, I love. So
agreed. So fresh for you then.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. All right. Our next episode, it wasn't a recap, but it was actually our Trevor Wilson interview. So I got a couple of clips I pulled from that one. The first one here is where Trevor talks about how he got on the Jimmy Kimmel show.
I probably have the weirdest show about getting asked to do stand-up on Kimmel because I met him literally, it was like after the roast battle shoot where he was the judge. I was coming out of the stall in the bathroom having just dropped a deuce. And, Jimmy and his cousin Sal were heading into the bathroom to use a urinal. Not the same on each other.
No.
But Jimmy started up a conversation with me, and I thought it was just going to be like a quick, "Hey, hello, how are you?" He kept talking, and so I'm like washing my hands, standing by the door, like really wanting to get out of there because of what I just did. But Jimmy wanted to chat, so we had a nice.
He brought gold. That was amazing. What a fun interview that was.
Yeah, what a gem he was, eh?
Yeah, like he shared. I mean, I've heard a lot of interviews with Trevor, and he shared stories that I hadn't heard in any of the interviews, and so we really appreciated that one. Any comments on that from anybody?
Oh, it's great listening back to it. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to listen to that one, Dean? I know you're a busy guy.
I unfortunately I have not. I keep meaning to, but it's like Oh, once one thing happens and it's a whole domino effect. I wish I had more time. Once you start podcasting, it's very hard to listen to other podcasts.
For sure. No, agreed. Yeah. No, I wasn't, I shouldn't have put you on the spot there. I apologize.
No. It's because I know a lot of people who listen to podcasts and that's how they get into doing podcasts.
Yep.
Then they find out you don't get to listen to podcasts anymore.
Can confirm. Well, I still try, but you're right. I mean, even some of our listeners now, I think we've spawned 2 or 3 other podcasts to start up for people listening to us. So here's the second clip from the K. Trevor. This is where he does talk about the cookout battle, because I had asked him, because that battle was pretty epic considering some of the other fight scenes they've had in other episodes, and I'm like, it had more of that one there had a more epic kind of Braveheart vibe to it, and this was K. Trevor's
full on Donnybrook.
Yeah.
That was exactly what Kiso was going for.
Yeah.
That he wanted that Braveheart level fight. I always love that because Radass and I had worked out this whole big fight thing, and then when we came up with the bottle shot over the shoulder, it was like, well, that just sort of defeats the purpose of all the other stuff we choreographed. And so we choreographed this whole thing, and then then this one spot was just, well, that's better than everything else we came up with. And we just went with that. And that was the year we got a budget for breakaway glass. So that was a really fun year.
So that explains the Canada Goose episode. You guys spent your budget on that.
That was Battle of the Bastards and Canada Goose. Yeah.
Oh,
we had so many breakaway bottles that year that they were just like, yeah, you can break another bottle. Go right ahead.
It just goes to show you there's no such thing as luck. It's like preparation and being at the right place at the right time. Like the fact that we had just finished reviewing the Canada Goose episode, and then we had K. Trevor on, and then the very next episode was the cookout episode. It was just kind of destiny, I think.
And it's kind of like, I mean, that story is kind of like the Indiana Jones story with the guy where he's supposed to the guy with the sword in the marketplace, and he just shoots him. There was supposed to be a big fight, but Harrison Ford was sick, so he just shoots him. And that made, I mean, just the little thing that makes it even better.
Some of the best moments come from accidents, right?
Yeah.
I found it interesting when he's talking about that they were working out their parts for their fight scene. Like, I feel like, I don't know, in a bigger kind of Hollywood production, they'd have, like, I don't know, martial art experts there and people there to kind of consult or choreograph. And here are these actors, and they're just, I'm going to punch you in the nuts, and you're going to do this, and I'm going to, let's just break a bottle over each other's head. Yeah.
Well, I know that the guy that played Angie's boyfriend. In first season, he's actually a stuntman, and I think the guy is that this season, the Fuss in the Back Bush, where Wayne is fighting the big blonde guy. That I think he's also a stuntman. So they maybe have, I believe they probably have some coordinators on there that just out of luck from their extras.
And I bet even, I mean, because it's still, they still have to confine to the industry. So if they're doing anything like that, there probably is requirements that they need some oversight of a scene like that to make sure that it meets the standards of, all that.
Maybe. Yeah.
They have Chris Jericho on set.
I mean, they do like their wrestlers.
They do.
Next episode, we reviewed the Letterkenny talent show. This is one of my favorites.
One night in Letterkenny, a comic was mean, so the Hicks held a talent show at Modine's. Judged by Katie and Wayne, Squirrely Dan was slaying, but Derry won the night with his dancing routine.
And during our episode, our recap of that, we started talking a little bit about the different kind of dialogue in porn. I don't know what kind of pornos you've watched, but very rarely have I watched pornos with that kind of dialogue in them. Anyway,
or with that much dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe I just never last that long. Anyway, Wayne hits the buzzer.
Well done.
Where's Tanya's buzzer?
Yeah. Maybe that's my problem. Wayne hits the buzzer.
Put that easy button away.
That wasn't easy. Katie looks okay. Compose yourself. I couldn't get these guys to stop laughing at me. So yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes. Probably it's up there. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, that again on our show, that was the second place for that season.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, God, you got the skids with their ache dancing and my time journal. I mean, come on, I want to be close to Christ and wine. Yeah, and did you ever notice? I mean, all that is so good. God, yeah, I was trying to see what other notes I had on it, but yeah, it was Katie. It was a really, really good episode.
Katie mouthing along to the porn dialogue was like she was singing her favorite song or something was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, and Gail's glad he ate her. I mean.
Well, I mean, all their talents just spoke so well to their characters in that setting. That's what was so brilliant about it. And I think I remember talking to it. They kept getting better as you got deeper into the talent show. And then when it culminated with Derry and that whole dance, I was dying. Like, this is brilliant how they all came together to support him in that simple little line dance, where it was at the end. And it just, and
Riley and Jonesy coming in the way they did, and then walking right out. It was perfect. It was just
fuck cardio.
And I think that was our third unicorn in a row, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That was
after the debacle of the first of episode 1, everyone after that's been was a unicorn. So we probably have to stop calling it a unicorn because it just became so common.
I think things started to normalize a little bit after that.
Not for long though.
Episode 5, the Letterkenny leave. Here's the limerick for that one.
The McMurrays are hosting a fling with hopes to find others who'll swing. The Hicks try to conceive of the best way to lead because the lifestyle isn't really their thing.
So, by the way, that's one of my favorite limericks, if I do say so myself.
Good job.
In this one here, Dean, you'll appreciate this because I give a little bit of a season 9 foreshadowing. We find out in season 9 that Coach is a fan of the French goodbye, or the French leave, or the French goodbye.
Is that where you say goodbye to the cat?
No, that's a sayonara. Anyway, I won't.
Is that the one where they leave the girl a mess?
Yes.
Oh my God! Oh,
I won't go any further. With that. That's a little Easter egg for anybody who's already watched season 9. All right. Poor Barb. Yeah, we won't spoil that, but. What did you think of the Letterkenny leave, Dean?
I loved it. I mean, I loved how oblivious Dan was to everything, about the lifestyle. And Tanis still, trying to get in Wayne's pants, saying, if you like nerdy girls, I got a library out on the rest. And Glenn, with the dropping the olives and Gail going after it, and the whole scene at the end where Glenn gets surprised about Gail. What is it? I've got unless I ask, what is it? Something about anal, and unless I ask for anal, and I will ask.
And I will. Yeah.
I just love how she started removing her earrings while she's.
Yeah. She may have called it butt play, not anal.
Yeah. Right. But McMurray is like, agreed.
So in that episode there, I remember, Victor, you took a little not exception, but you questioned why the Tanis scene, because it seemed kind of out of place and it was really brief. Do you see now kind of it was leading to, like, to the end of the season?
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, it was, I don't think that was my kind of anchor for my overall opinion of the episode. That was That was
a moment.
Small. Yeah, that was just a moment.
Well, I think she got invited. I think so many people got invited there, and once she knew that Wayne was there, she took her shot.
Yeah, I mean, I had the benefit of hindsight to know that was kind of setting things up, but it was a really brief scene and kind of it felt out of place maybe the first time through. That episode got a fresh from myself, Tanya, and our guest Joshua, and Victor and Matt gave it a clearance. Matt, what happened there?
I mean, you called it. I mean, the Tannis scene to me didn't align with the episode. I just felt, I mean, when we came off of 3 such strong episodes, the laughs weren't there. I agree. There's a couple, and Dean called them out already, you know, with Dan's total obliviousness to what was going on, the olives, you know, the Gale scene, those were funny moments, but as a whole, I didn't connect with that episode. Yeah. I didn't really laugh. I didn't understand how it really connected to the rest of the story. I just couldn't get behind this one.
One thing I did agree with you I do agree with you in one aspect. Dan being the one oblivious to the lifestyle seems kind of out of place, considering of the 4 Hicks, his sexual proclivity is probably the strangest or the.
I think Dan is monogamous. I mean,
but he knows about other stuff.
Hey, no, you're not wrong. He does. I think it's because of that's such a small town. I think he's just, that aspect of things with the McMurrays, he's not quite hip to yet. And once he got it though, he was like, oh,
that aha moment.
I mean, when Mrs. McMurray is holding his hand up.
Yeah. You need another beer, Derry?
and Al, similar to Matt, like you have to remember that again, we're always rating these against Letterkenny episodes, not outside of they're all great, right? Yes. So, but it's on a relative scale against the 3 previous unicorns that we had all just come off. This was just lesser than the 3 previous episodes. And if we're going to give these things ratings for the fun of it, then for me it was one level lower. That's all. Yeah.
Being the fan of Glenn that you are, though, that one was a Glenn.
Yeah, and I agreed. Yeah. Glenn was incredible. Yeah. I loved Glenn, and that whole interaction, and I could have just had the whole episode about that. That was awesome. Yeah. But there was other elements, and it was a little lesser than the 3 previous episodes.
And even on the Glenn note, this was a strong season for Glenn as a whole. He had a lot of really good moments from start to finish. And I feel like was it the last season when he was the bartender? That one I felt like he fell a little short, and he was sort of sitting in the back burner a bit. He had some funny moments, but I didn't buy it as much. But this one,
it was just Glenn. There was no pasture. It was just Glenn.
And I didn't like that version of Glenn. But this one, he's back. He's competing for the corner, and then he's getting into these weird scenarios. And I thought his character really excelled in this season as a whole.
Yeah, agreed.
Episode 6, great day for Thunder Bay. Here's a limerick.
The brothers Bay come home for hay, so all of Letterkenny plans a special day. Meanwhile, Tannis hits on Wayne, but faithful to Rosie he'll remain. Till later that night, will temptations give way.
That one there featured an amazing cold open where they're talking about kind of abbreviations and then they go on to that. Let's hear about a Portuguese abbreviation that I spoke about. My parents are Portuguese. And, I'm on Facebook, and sadly, so is my mom. So, and my aunts and all my Portuguese family are on Facebook. And every once in a while, I'll post something and I'll get, a response from one of either my mom or one of my aunts or whatever, saying something nice or whatever, and then always signing off with BJ's.
Well, it was your birthday too.
Oh no!
It was your birthday.
Oh, no.
Everybody was giving you BJ's.
Everyone was giving me BJ's for my birthday, even cousins and aunts and moms. And
no wonder you're in such a good mood all the time.
So I felt like I had to clarify. So I wrote a long Facebook post explaining that the Portuguese word for kisses is beijinhos. and the short form for kisses is BJ's.
Wow. You're like all full of BJ's and Konas.
So, So, for Dean's benefit, the word Kona is Portuguese for cunt.
Okay.
And we that's relevant because there's a Nissan. I think it's a Nissan. No, a Hyundai vehicle.
It's a Kia.
Kia. I thought it was Hyundai. I thought it was a Hyundai.
It's a Kia.
Kona. There's a car called a Kona, which made me laugh because it's like, didn't somebody there just say, "Excuse me, that's probably not the best." Anyway, so yes,
you guys won't talk about Kona.
BJ's and Konas. Yeah. What did you think of Great Day for Thunder Bay, Dean?
I liked it. This is probably, in my opinion, probably the weakest episode of the season. The Brothers Bay part, okay. The part that I found intriguing about it was the way, which was at the very end, the Wayne Tannis cliffhanger. So probably that, everything. I mean, all the, Angie showing up, the other gals showing up at the end with the brothers out of the truck. I just, that honestly, yeah, this was probably one of my least favorite, with the exception of the end. The whole part with, Wayne's still with Rosie, but Tannis is throwing it, and he's, they're right there at the very end. What's going to happen. So
interesting. So what's your rating there? Clearance or
I would say, I don't know if I would say I don't know if I would ever compost anything, but it was it was probably not one of my favorite episodes. I would just honestly, it's a little bit forgettable with the exception of the Tannis part.
Sure.
And even the Tannis Katie part was pretty good as well. I like that. I like that part with her two cousins. I can't remember their names now, but that was a funny bit as well. So yeah, the parts with Tannis in it were good.
And I think I was the only one who gave this one a clearance out of.
No, Tanya did too. So you and Tanya agreed.
Well, I said dildos, not Tanya. Yeah.
If everybody else is a dildo, what does that make Tanya?
Oh my!
I mean, you got fleshlights.
I was just gonna say it, and I stopped myself. So thank you for saying that, Dean.
I'm always on board of saying something inappropriate.
Tanya's the D whisperer.
Yeah. I agreed. I loved the Tannis. I think I gave this one a fresh on, but it was a weak fresh for me. It was kind of on the border. Those Tannis scenes that were hot. She brought. I
love Tannis.
She brought that Tannis energy. Yes,
big Tannis energy. BTE,
and so for sure. So I had, and we had an interesting discussion on that cliffhanger because none of the other three didn't think it was a cliffhanger or didn't realize it was a cliffhanger.
Oh, really?
I'm like, yeah, of course it's a cliffhanger. Did Wayne go to Tannis, or where did he go after we fade to black? So, I guess I was the only one who was invested in that storyline. But so on the strength of those two things, I gave it a fresh. But it was kind of a weak fresh because I agree with a lot of your points too that it's probably the weakest episode of the season.
Yeah, I think the Brothers Bay storyline for me could have been left out and replaced with something completely different. I also enjoyed a party for any other reason would be good, just as good.
Yeah. I also like.
Go ahead, Al. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the cold open with Jay and Dan. Just again, given recent news events, it was kind of. Just the timing of it was weird, and I think Matt, I mean, you really liked it because of the Brothers Bay, because they're like snowboarders that you follow.
The McMorris brothers.
Yeah, there you go.
But you can't like the episode just because.
No, and actually, to be honest, I wish that they were in it a bit more. I think they could have brought them in sooner. And added them more to the episode. But I mean, my opinion of the episode, from what I recall, was that I like the wordplay. I like the community camaraderie that was going on there. I like how much they celebrated their small town celebrations. Like they had someone that went and made it big. These brothers that went and made it big, and they were all, regardless of which faction they came from, they were excited that they were returning. They all wanted to welcome them home, because at the end of the day, even though they all have their differences, the community still cares about each other in the end. And that it was elements like that I really enjoyed about this episode.
Yeah, but and maybe we won't do the McMurray Wayne scene again, but I think that's everything that you said is fine. And I didn't have a problem with them. It was a storyline, and then just the finish with them and I got a lot of flack from you guys for kind of having an issue with it, but having all the town girls coming out of their car, I just didn't find that cool. I just thought that was a little sketchy, and I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was cool. I maybe the 18 version of me would have thought it was cool, but I just, and it wasn't. It's not me acting like that.
I agree with you on that.
Oh, I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with that one.
Anyway.
All right.
So
all good.
There we go.
It is funny to see how short Angie is, though, compared to everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
I will say of the season finales, I felt it was one of the weaker ones.
Up until now, sure. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. The next episode was our interview with Brittlestar, and I pulled one clip just because it had to do with Letterkenny. Here it is. When I asked you to come on here, you kind of admitted that you were on a bit of a campaign to be on the show. You'd like to be on the show. So, not to out your age, but I mean, we're all around the same age. And from what I see, we're all too old to be on this show.
Well, see, I think that's this. Listen, dream big. Okay. First of all, don't let go of the dreams. All right. But then secondly, that's the key to my desire is the fact that to be on the show is that I've already cast myself as an OPP officer.
Right.
Because they haven't really had a good OPP officer character, and I thought, I would like to kind of be an extension of the Dan Aykroyd character from Canadian Bacon. That's what I'd like to be.
So why don't you kind of do a little fanfic here and tell us what that episode would be, and maybe Jared will hear it or Jacob Tierney will hear it, and
right. Yeah. And they won't even respond to my tweets. So why would they listen to this?
And by the way, we have zero weight with either one of those two guys either.
Well, now you've got less. I think I can see the OPP character getting involved with the Mennonites, with Jonathan Torrens Mennonite, the Dicks.
Oh, there's your way in, getting Jonathan to write you in.
Yeah, I think that's
so. Brittlestar has interviewed Jonathan on his own podcast, so they've got a bit of a relationship. So that's why he brought up Jonathan Torrens, and they've done some stuff in the past. So that was kind of his way in. But yeah, that was go ahead.
So you're gonna have to explain to me what OPP is.
Yeah, Ontario Provincial Police. I was about to call it out and realize even on the episode we didn't actually correct that.
I just know you're down with OPP. Yeah, you know me.
So they're our version of the state troopers, basically. They're our provincial police.
That's funny.
But yeah, that was a fun episode. He was a lot of fun to interview, and even though he's not related to the show at all, he's like us, a fan, but he also had like some interesting stories to share. So we were very grateful to have him on and and be exposed to his audience too, because it's vast.
Very cool.
Next episode 7, Super Hard Easter. This is the Easter special, and here's a limerick for that.
The Hicks annual Easter is super hard. Dairy hides eggs and booby traps around the yard. Meanwhile, Glenn's little passion play turns zombie march by end of day, catching both Wayne and McMurray completely off guard.
And in that episode there, before we talk about it, I just want to, in our recap, I read some mail from one of our listeners. Let's move on to some listener comments. We have a new Twitter follower, Logic Bomb. I don't know if he's new. Anyway, he's new to the group. How are you now? I love the podcast. I've listened to every episode. It is a great companion to the show. I live in Lenoke, Arkansas, a town with a population of just under 5,000, and I find Letterkenny to be very relatable. My name is Christian Hicks, so I'm not sure if my mother named me after the town factions or not. Anyway, keep up the great work. Many hugs and BJs from me to you. So, I love that. Yeah, so you can tell he listened to the previous episode because of the way he signed off. What did you think of Super Hard Easter, Dean?
You know what? I liked it. One aspect that I mean, Glenn throughout the entire thread, and then Rold's interaction with Glenn, I really liked, because Rold you see as a sub to Stuart all the time, but when it was with Glenn, he was like he was kind of
domineering.
Yeah. So that whole thing, in fact, I think when we had our recap of, or when we did that episode, we had a whole discussion about Rold's kinks and what he was into. But yeah, Glenn in that entire episode was just awesome. And that the scene with Coach in the sauna and
that's our favorite
calling
scene.
your asshole the penalty box. that was
personal.
Perfect.
That is personal. And
personal, not true, and a good idea.
Yeah. That was the best scene out of the entire episode. The sauna scene.
We all agreed on that one. Yeah.
Coach Sean in that agreed. Rolled Sean in it for sure. It got a fresh from Matt and Tanya. And only a clearance from Victor and myself. I think maybe
I was really confused by yours, Al.
Well,
Victor, I'm not surprised. Love you, Victor, but I'm not surprised on that one.
For this,
Al, I was hurt by
for the same reason you gave your other clearance. That was such a strong season, and this episode here had some really strong moments. But in the end, they didn't add up to the same as the others.
And I laughed so hard through that whole episode. And I just like I said in our recap, I love the contrast, how they really displayed two different versions of what people see Easter as.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. And it was just total polar opposite. It all still came together at the end. This drunken religious mess as they wandered down the road as zombies, and it was great.
And Dan being drunk as fuck with the rat trap on the end of his finger. Amen.
It was so good.
It was good, but it was just good. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I agree. What was your rating there, Dean? Was that a fresh for you, or
Yeah, it was as a fresh for me. Yeah. I think the only one that was kind of clearance for me was Thunder Bay. So that was everything else in that season was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was solid.
All right, great. So let's get some overall season ratings. I guess I have to start with me. And again, this was the strongest season by far, and because I only gave one episode something other than fresh, and it was that last episode, it's the whole season 4 is definitely 100% fresh for me. Victor, what do you say?
Oh, it's a fresh. If we don't count the special episode, I got 3 freshes, 2 clearances, so or 3 or 4 fresh. I don't remember. Yeah, 4. I think 4 freshes and 2 clearances. I don't know.
The important thing is there are no composts for me this season, which is unlike.
There's no compost, but I mean overall, I just felt like they leveled up. Right? They just leveled up. I was surprised when because I think, Dean, I could be wrong. I think you said season 3 was your favorite, and season 3 was good, and I there was a couple of just brilliant episodes there. I think season 4 totally trumps season 3 for me. And I think that if you look at our ratings amongst the 4 of us, I think there's a lot more agreement in season 4 than in the previous 3.
Yeah, I think with 3, it's like 3 was like that was a start of okay, we're finding ours, and it's like with any big album of any rock group, their 4th album is always the biggest. I mean, it's like that's when they found. That's really right when they're building up to it, and they hit 4, and that's when they found it. So this is the Led Zeppelin 4 of Letterkenny.
That could have been the first time that comparison's ever been made.
But very apt, sure. Matt, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a fresh. I'd say with the one sidestep of the Letterkenny leave, the rest of the season was solid. And I laughed harder. I thought deeper. I just enjoyed the conversations we had about it. It was a blast. And all the characters, I think, really were who we wanted them to be. Like, like
Like again, Glenn was back, the Hicks doing their thing, hockey players doing their thing. Gail was back, but not. She was enough that you still loved her, because I know even Tanya gets a little uncomfortable sometimes when she goes.
I think Gail's won Tanya over. I think she's okay.
Yeah, and maybe that's it too. We've accepted Gail and her complete uncomfortableness, and it's okay. But no, I thought that I am with Victor. This was the best, in my opinion, my favorite season so far. There was very little to pick apart. It was fun from start to finish, and I can't wait for season 5.
Tam?
Absolutely, hands down, best season. I finally get it. I know why you like the show so much. I get why you wanted to do a podcast. I tallied up the numbers and I have more fresh than Victor. So,
it's not a competition, but okay.
No, because you guys are trying to make me feel bad about the whole episode 1 for the first episode.
You still should.
You should.
No, because I ended it with like more freshes. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So, so many takeaways that are just so, and my very favorite is the personal not true, and that's a good idea. My favorite saying, and I loved it. I love how the characters are just they're getting so much better. I'm looking forward to season 5.
All right.
And I'll add one more thing. So, as we started watching this show, I had some trepidation about, am I going to like the episode? Because then I'm going to come on this podcast and talk about it and stuff like that. That dissipated. It's gone. It's Al. When you invited me to your first show, I kind of felt like, I hope he's good. I hope he doesn't suck, because then the next day we're gonna have to, see each other and and then work together and all that stuff. But no, you guys were great, and then I never felt that way for coming to see any of your follow-on shows. And so I feel like we're now there with
You know what? It's funny because I had the same reaction when I learned a coworker was a stand-up comedian, and I went to go see her for the first time, and I'm like, God, please be good, please be funny, because I won't be able to fake it if she's not funny. And
that was good.
Luckily, she was funny. So when she came to me and said, "What did you think?" I was able to be truthful and honest. So I hear what you're saying there. And I appreciate that you think my band was good. Dean, what are your what's your overall rating of this episode?
100% fresh. I mean, it was an amazing season. And like I said, 3, 4, 5 were probably, good solid trifecta. I think, in my opinion, of seasons. 4 was really good, with the exception for me of the finale, a little bit. And just a little bit, not horribly, but just enough to not make it great.
Yeah, and like Victor likes to say all the time, we're comparing Letterkenny episodes to other Letterkenny episodes, and this is all kind of graded on a curve. Like compared to other shows, most other shows, these would all be freshes. All right, let's. I'm just going to read out some listener comments. We have a new iTunes review from the Independent Thought podcast. He gave us 5 stars. He said, "Really great hosts that keep you entertained from the beginning to the end. Definitely give this a listen. You'll be pleasantly surprised." So thank you very much, Independent Thought podcast. I've actually listened to some of the episodes, and it's a really solid podcast too. Dean, you might be interested in it. Actually, it's an American podcast. He talks a lot about politics. Nice. But he tries to be not impartial. He tries to, because there's no impartiality right now possible in American politics, at least. But he tries to not just take mainstream media at its word, and it's pretty solid. Here's one from No One Sphere. So this is the one you said, Dean, they've been on your show, or the band that was on your show.
The band, yeah. We played their music on our show. Yeah.
They say, at Protestant Pod, listening to you guys right now. Are we going to have a super hard Easter in a couple of months? So my answer to that was yes, because now that we've seen the Letterkenny Easter special, Tanya and I, we're going to lay out some booby traps along with the chocolate eggs.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
Yeah, and make it more fun.
I can't wait to see the news that day.
Matt, do you guys do Easter up like with the boys and stuff? The Easter egg hunts?
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a super hard Easter with the kids, but my version of Easter, I think I talked about this on, I don't remember which holiday it was. So anyways, one of the other episodes. I'm not a religious person. Mm-hmm. I've never celebrated Easter in a religious way in any form. To me, it's the bunny, it's the chocolate, it's the family, it's the fun, it's the togetherness. So that is the version we do. And yes, we do it with the boys. We actually do a scavenger hunt with the boys. So we do clues and make them scurry around the house and find all kinds of fun shit and
put out some mouse traps, you know.
Yeah. I like that. We're in. We're gonna mess with them this year. It's gonna be fun.
I think COVID has taken things to a new level. Mm-hmm. Like I know in our house, definitely pranks are taking a whole new level. We didn't used to prank each other the way we are now, but I think the monotony of day after day, it's like, okay, we need something new, and jumpstart each other by like hiding and scaring one another. So it's been a lot of fun. Easter will be great.
That sounded evil.
Yeah, Victor, your kids are a little old now for Easter egg hunts. So, what do you do anything special for Easter?
Yeah, so same as Matt. Like none of our traditions are in any way layered in religion, but and you know, I had no idea what Easter was when I came here from the Soviet Union, but I learned that they do this thing where they eat chocolate, hide eggs and eat chocolate eggs and stuff like that. And so I was all in. And then we did that for, I think Linda had always done it, my wife, Linda, but with our kids, we did it from the time they were born. And I don't remember when we stopped hiding the eggs, but we still every year religiously get lots and lots of chocolate, and we paint eggs and do all that, but we don't do the scavenger hunt anymore. Though I did find an egg just a year ago.
Oh my.
In one of our drawers, and
don't eat it.
I took one for the team and I ate.
And it must have been white.
He lived to tell about it.
Yeah, I lived to tell about it. I don't like to see food go to waste. Anyway, so we do that. We buy like high-end Lindt Easter egg chocolate, and we get the kids each a bunny, and it's like a Lindt bunny, and we do acknowledge it every year. But yeah, we don't do the scavenger hunting.
What about you, Dean? What do you guys do in your household?
Not a goddamn thing.
No.
My daughter is 21 now, doesn't, and is living off going to college elsewhere. My son on Monday turns 18. So yeah, we haven't done anything like that in a long time.
Did you used to though?
A little bit. Yeah. A little bit. I just not, I grew up very, very, very religious, which has made me very, very, very not religious. So,
could have gone either way there.
So, that coming from that background has definitely changed me and how I view. I'm kind of like Wayne with his religious ideals and his poop pantsery when it comes to that. So,
Speaking of where you grew up, I mean, you're from Texas originally, right? I hope everybody, family and friends back home are doing all right.
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave it at that.
I'm not really, a lot of my family that's back there is very, very right wing, and I don't really talk to them much anymore. So, but the ones who are out there are pretty well off, and I'm sure they're probably fine. So,
there you go.
Fair enough.
I was going to say they likely wouldn't have signed my petitions to turn all the churches, mosques, and synagogues into science museums.
There you go.
Good luck. Good luck with that one. Final listener.
World would be a better place.
Yes,
anyway.
I agree. Final listener comment from Logic Bomb. I'm so glad my two Letterkenny podcasts are friendly with one another, so I don't feel like I'm being disloyal by listening to both. Thank you very much, Logic Bomb. Obviously, also a listener to How Are You Now?
Because I put out that thing this week about us, that with from the beginning of season 9, where it's got the U.S. military guys and the Canadian. Love you, brother. Love you, brother. It's just perfect.
In the news, in our news, next Monday, we're going to be welcoming Danny Ellis to the Produce Stand for a chat. Danny is art director for Letterkenny, so we're looking forward to talking to her about
She's awesome.
Yeah, has she been on your show?
She has not. I chat with her all the time through Twitter and on Discord, and she's just really an awesome person.
Yeah, she's very super talented. So I'm looking forward to that and getting some inside scoop about what she does on the show. And we take note. And Letterkenny's got a lot of a very not unique, but a very definite look about it. You could tell that they take care in that look, and I'm sure she's got a lot to do with that.
Well, she created the Puppers logo.
So. Oh yeah, well there you go.
That's her. So yeah.
So Matt, when you're looking for a label for your new brew,
got it, buddy, noted already.
I did try to hit her up at one time to see if she was willing to do a commission, and she said she wasn't doing that, at least at the time. So
you know what?
You never know.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually hit her up for a commission as well, because she was doing some just before the holidays. I'm wondering how much it would cost, and I think she was kind of getting tired of doing them or busy, swamped, and said, "I'm going to stop doing commissions for a bit," because they were great, beautiful drawings.
She's a really good artist. Yeah, really, really good artist.
Speaking of that, for season 9, I am working on season 5 for us. I am working on a sponsor. So more details to come, but basically it's going to be, we're probably going to have a fresh new look, starting next season as well. And that person who's going to be our sponsor will have a hand in that. He's a very talented artist, and I'll talk more about it next season once we have everything firmed up. Next season's next week, but anyway,
got a busy week ahead of you.
Yeah, so no more of the crappy graphics that I've been able to whip up. Hopefully, we're gonna have some really nice looking logos that maybe we can even throw on some merchandise, like some T-shirts or some stickers or
get
stuff.
You some merch going, man.
Yeah, so looking forward to that and coming up in the next season.
I want to know if there's a shirt that says "Poopy Pants."
If there isn't, maybe there should be.
Totally.
Poop pantsery.
Poop pantsery. That's it.
So
pantsery.
I'd
totally wear that.
Final thoughts.
I came for the poop pantsery.
Final thoughts for me. Great season. Top-notch season. My favorite so far. And looking forward to season 5. Victor's already ahead of us. He's already seen the first episode of that season, and I actually know which one it was.
Victor lives in the future.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, exactly. I actually know which one that is, and I am looking very forward to that episode. So
I want to watch it right now.
Yeah. So next week can't come quick enough. Dean, thank you so much once again. Can we count on you for a season 5 recap?
Hell yeah! I mean, you got a wedding coming up, and I'm always in for a super gay wedding. So,
don't give too much away.
Yeah, awesome.
Spoiler.
So great. Well, I'm going to keep you at your word, and we'll book you up for the next season review. Thanks again for joining us, Victor. Any final comments?
Well, I just pretend that you haven't seen my background, because I don't want to be influencing anyone's viewing pleasures as they're watching the next episode.
If you see me in my unicorn onesie, you know I'm on board.
Oh my God, it's just going to be all sunshine and unicorns.
I'm going to. You know what? I'm wearing my onesie for the next weekend. I got a hedgehog.
You have to wear it. Then.
Oh, I will.
I feel like I've done a gender reveal here or something.
A gender reveal.
Matt, any final comments?
Yeah, I mean, just a great season, Dean. Love having you back here at the end of each season. So much fun, man. This community is just a blast. And with the community, I want to quickly echo against one of my tweets I put out this week, and there was a bit of back and forth on, is I have been influenced verbally by the dialogue in the show. And I'm curious what other things are out there. So I know in my day to day, I have layered in comments like, I suggest you let that one marinate. A hard no. That's what I appreciate about you. I haven't had the balls to do what Dean's done and layered in "not my pig, not my farm" into daily dialogue in a corporate setting. But I want to know, what can you do out there? And please tweet us at Produce Stand Pod. Let us know what you're using from Letterkenny content in your daily usage, especially in a work setting. What can you get away with?
I'm still waiting to be in that meeting, and if I say "to be fair," to hear somebody sing it back to me. To be fair, because then that person will be my favorite, my best friend.
The two that I use like all the time is Pitter Patter and Get to the Chorus. I use those all the time.
Oh yeah,
the chorus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it.
Yep. 10 final words.
Alan does fold into conversation
all the time.
Oh my God, so much, to the point where I'm like, really, because he'll say it to the kids, and the kids have nothing to relate it to, and he's like, yeah, not my pig, not my farm. I'm like looking at him going, really? You think they're gonna get that? That went right over their head.
Yeah, I'm always with me and Tiara to each other are like, figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to season 5. Really. With Victor's background there, I want to go and turn the TV on right now and have a look to see.
It's a train wreck, his background.
And Dean's little chime in there that there's a wedding coming in. Now that's sparked a whole lot of thought in my brain there too.
Good. Yeah.
Thinking, okay, now who's gonna get married? The only gay person that I guess there is the gay guys.
There are lots of queer folk in this show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Plus a lady named Gay and a lady named Gail and all kinds of things. Yeah.
And there's gay sex. So
I'm thinking hard on that now. Okay, so yeah, looking forward to it. I can't wait to do another season and see you back again, Dean. And thank you so much to all the listeners. And it's great ride.
I didn't even mention that we hit 10,000 downloads last week, and I know, Dean, that pales by comparison to How Are You Now, but we're working on it, and we're a little behind the game, but oh no, he's frozen. They're all frozen. Oh
no, just him.
Well, these awkward frozen moments.
I was like, did I scare you?
No.
He's 3 hours behind, but it takes a while for him to catch up.
So yeah, about 350 away from 100,000.
Wow.
So,
congratulations.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That's exactly like I think Canada's population compared to the United States population.
110
downloads compared to
yeah,
it's all in perspective.
Exactly. Yeah. Except we can't really claim that since the majority of our listeners are US. So, but oh well. No, it's great. I mean, you guys did it first. You did it best, and we're following on your coattails. So even if we get a fraction,
we did not do it first. That was Irish. So over at the Letterkenny, he was there before any of us. So,
yes, you're right.
And he's a really great guy. So yeah,
you know what? I should probably reach out, see if he'll come on, because he's in Toronto, right? Like he's
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I should really reach out. So what are your final comments there, Dean?
For me, I'm looking forward to finishing up season 9 here with what we've got going. I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to do with season 10. Where you guys are right now is a really good groove. So that's I like that. So, but yeah, that's where I am.
Well, I keep it up. And what are you going to do once you're done season 9 and you're waiting for 10? Are you just going to kind of go into a holding pattern again, or do you have any plans? Any exciting?
Well,
plans?
I've still got, because one thing I've PodScure, which I haven't been doing in a while. I've been talking to my buddy Don, who I do that with. We're going to be hooking back up to doing that, and maybe what we because what we do is we do interviews of obscure podcasts and find out why they do what they do. It's not really about their podcast. It's just about getting to know podcasters.
Sure.
So, and then we generally just have random bullshit chat. It's just kind of off the rails. There's no formula to it. It's just, we get together and chat. And then, I've still got Boondocks going on. So, And we just finished up season 1 of the Boondocks.
Yep.
We had to split our recap episode into 2 parts. So
yeah, can't confirm. I'm waiting for the second part.
Yeah, that just dropped.
Okay.
So that's what I was saying. Yeah, I had to put that together, put episode 5 of Letterkenny of season 9 together, working on 6 right now, editing that with Trevor Risk, and then now looking to get back together on PodScure. And probably once we're done with this season 9. So we're gonna have to just wait, see what happens on 10, hoping that the Letterkenny Live will be able to kick off at some point this summer and we'll get them back here, but who knows? Because I want to upgrade my silver VIP tickets to gold. So because
I still think you should call them ahead and see if you can't get a media pass or something. I mean, that would be nice. Because I would love to go chat with the guys. Because if they come to Toronto, I'm sure as hell going to try to do that. I mean, who else would they have on if not the podcasters and other social media, right? So definitely something worth looking into.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to play us off here with our closing theme. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we begin our recap and review of Season 5, starting with Episode 1, We Don't Fight at Weddings. Dean, thank you for joining us again. Why don't you plug your various podcasts and anything you'd like to promote?
Come join us on How Are You Now, howareyounow.com, the Boondocks Podcast, boondockspodcast.com, and PodScure.com. We're all out there.
Please rate us on iTunes if you'd like the show. Follow us on Twitter at ProtestanPod. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have some puppers and go and play in the snow while it's still around. On behalf of Dean, Matt, Victor, Tanya, and myself, thank you for listening and have a great week.